Hey, how's it going, everyone? Justin again, as always. Thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking building a tool collection based on a budget, okay? What do I mean by that? Look, you're a DIY, you're a weekend warrior, you're not a professional series mechanic, you're trying to figure out how to create some kind of basic mechanic tool set on a budget. You're not into wanting to buy a master kit, and there's a lot of individualized items that you could get or you could buy in sets. So how do you depict or dictate which ones to get and which ones not to get? We're going to talk about that today. Alright, first off, let me start off with this, because I had some comments recently. I wanted to talk about it. Somebody said, what's your deal with Craftsman? Are you all Craftsman now? You got some kind of sick ass deal worked out with Lowe's? No, I don't. Look, check it out, man. When I very first started wrenching, grandfather, my dad, they all had Craftsman tools. They had Craftsman sockets, Craftsman wrenches, everything was Craftsman, right? Then as I started to progress in age and get older, I too bought some Craftsman tools. I didn't like them. I never fell in love with them in the beginning. I was like, wow, you know what? I really hate this. I hate the fitment. I hate the way that it feels. The ratchets were never long enough. Even if you bought the longer ones, it was very uncomfortable. This square design that they have with the ratchet handles absolutely sucked. I was not a fan. So when I ended up getting into the professional world, turning a wrench, going to automotive trade school, learning how to do automotive mechanicking as a career and a profession, then I started seeing things like Snap-on, Matco, Cornwell, Gear Wrench, all types of other tools starting to develop. So I started getting a warm and fuzzy on them and how much they were. Some of them were extremely high in price, some of them were fairly moderately in price, and then Craftsman was kind of like the lowest of the low, until I ran into Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight was like another go-to. I was like, wow, you know what? Harbor Freight does have a lot of things to offer. In fact, when I first started to build my mechanic tool list for community college, I went and dropped like $1,500 at Harbor Freight on an entire tool list to save cost of money because I couldn't afford Snap-on, Matco, Mac, or Cornwell. So I went the Harbor Freight route. More than half those tools broke down and disintegrated within a few months, and then I started to learn quality versus quantity. That's when I started buying and investing more of my money into Matco, Cornwell, Snap-on, etc. Now that the time has progressed, it's been about a decade later, now the quality has come up with not only just Harbor Freight, but some other off-the-wall name brands that I thought were just cheap-ass junk, aka Tecton, aka Nico. This is a new brand that I just got, and I have it in here in my DIY drawer at the half-inch set. So, Duralast. There was also a handful of other things over at Home Depot that started to look pretty good and had better pricing, like Husky. Husky had a pretty decent lineup. And there was Channel Lock. Then Milwaukee. Was never really in love with Milwaukee to begin with. Their Gen 1 I thought absolutely freaking sucked. Didn't want nothing to do with them. Stuck to Rigid. Thought Rigid was like the be-all, end-all. Look, I already had a contractor kit. My Dual kit failed me. I got tired of the iCAD batteries. Went Rigid. Lithium-ion. Phenomenal kit. Didn't have a lot of power in the half-inch impact. When the Milwaukee Gen 2 came out, didn't understand all the hype behind it because Gen 1 really sucked until I bought a Gen 2 half-inch Milwaukee cordless impact. Then my mind started to change. I started to have a little bit of difficulty and problems. So I had this Matco 3/8 drive cordless ratchet. Seemed to hold up, do what it was intended to do, but there was more power, more convenience out of having the Milwaukee 3/8 drive. I had a dual charger and I had the half-inch impact already, so I went that route. Ended up selling the Matco one. Ended up picking up the 3/8 stubby. The 3/8 stubby impact from Milwaukee. That thing has served me well, and let me tell you, that thing kicks butt. There's been very few situations where I've actually had to use air, and when I did, I used my Snap-on air gun on the drive shaft bolts to get some out. Milwaukee was able to do it for about half, then sometimes it would, sometimes it wouldn't, depend on how much battery charge it had, etc. But look, still a phenomenal product. Not everything can be done with cordless. That's why I still use air to this day. I hadn't had a lot of experience with Makita. We have a couple of cordless tools here at the house that are Makita. Those were for the wife. Those were at-home use for small things. Door hinges, door locks, you know, mirrors, hanging pictures, etc. So I never really fell in love with Makita, but it was a perfect set for my wife because at the time, Makita's 12-volt lineup had the lightest weight tool in the market. And that's perfect for her because she doesn't want to pick up some big old 20-volt tool. You don't need 20 volts to hang a picture. You don't need 20 volts, you know, to set a screw into the drywall, etc. So I got her this nice little set that was a gift from me from Sergeant Chrisman, who was in my former unit. freaking phenomenal guy. Gave me that set, worked out freaking awesome, man. She's loved it. She's had it for years, never had to warranty anything out. The batteries still kick butt. Most recently, I decided to pick up the Makita 12-volt CXT and the Makita LXT brushless cordless hex and drill to see how that worked out. So we're trying those things out. Been curious about Bauer, been curious about the Earthquake lineup, been curious about the Hercules lineup. Not in a huge hurry to dive on in and go full face first into their products just yet. Want to see some more development going on. Want to see a faster charge time with their batteries. Their batteries, you know, taking 2 hours to charge. That's a little bit excessive for somebody in my profession. I can't wait 2 hours for a battery to charge. We're talking, I need 30 to 45 minutes of runtime. That being said, most recently, I did just pick up a few items from Ryobi. Got the fan, got the vacuum, got the glue gun, which you guys might have seen. So far, I've had about a 45-minute on average charge with their batteries, for the exception of one. Maybe I got one in the bad batch. I got one that's been on here now for an hour and a half, going on an hour and 40 minutes, and it's flashing between red and green. Don't know if it's charged or not, or if it still has a problem, or if the charger has a problem. So I'm going to keep playing with it and see what changes occur as a result. Let's get back to some tools that you might want for a DIY standpoint, weekend warrior. So what are you really going to need when you're working on your own crap at home? Let's open this drawer. I'll talk about it real quick and then we'll wrap this video up. First things first, you're going to want some kind of half-inch socket of some kind. Bought this Nico set for a pretty cheap deal on Amazon. Amazon is a pretty great way to go. Yes, I understand that Nico's a 30-day warranty, but what do you get out of it? I don't know. We're going to find out what we get, what kind of quality we get, how long it lasts. Is it worth saving a few extra bucks to go with a 30-day warranty over a lifetime warranty? How does that whole thing work? If I mail this into Nico and I have a problem, will they back it? I don't know. We're going to find out. So I'm going to try this out from a DIY standpoint with intermittent use. It's not going to be used for professional grade usage. We're going to try it out from a DIY standpoint and see how much time we get out of it before we have a problem. I got some Husky Torx bits. I've got some Cobalt Allens, both metric and SAE. I've got Duralast 1/4 inch, deep and shallow, both SAE and metric. Got a Duralast 3/8 drive, deep and shallow, metric SAE kit. Got the Icon 1/2 inch click style torque wrench, phenomenal. Got the 3/8 extended flex head ratchet from Pittsburgh. We just recently made the 25-inch breaker bar into a flex head ratchet. We got a little bit of tweaking to do to it, but it's going to be a full-on flex head. Look, it's a concept tool. I understand that I probably ruined some of the integrity behind it. My hope is that Harbor Freight will actually up their game and create this tool without affecting the actual tensile strength of the tool. That it'll still actually be a strong tool. But I'd like to see a 25-inch flex head ratchet. Okay, moving forward, got my gloves in here. 1/4 inch ratchet, it's a snap-on. We gave away the 3/8 over to Chemical Sport, which I'll get mailed off hopefully here this next week. Next drawer. Now this is pretty much almost the last drawer that has any kind of tools because I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff in order to create room for new inventory. I want to try out some new products. I want to bring in some new stuff. I got rid of the old stuff. I want to try some new stuff. But I did keep some old stuff. I kept the Made in USA combination Craftsman wrench set that has been phenomenal. Never had any problems, never had one break down, never had one run a fastener out or round one out. Look, I'm telling you, look, there's some things that you can chintz out on. Wrenches you're going to have to play with. Because even Matco, even Snap-on, even Cornwell, even their tolerances as far as their combination wrenches are not on par. I did a video a while back where I had 4 14mm wrenches, ratchet wrenches, etc. that did not fit a 14mm fastener. I also had about 4 9/16 variations and different companies that made them that did not fit that same exact bolt, and 2 of them did. So it's a tolerance thing between 9/16, 14mm, you can get away with it, etc. Just depends on who makes the tool, how tight the tolerance is. Okay, moving forward, got the Cornwell adjustable wrenches with the teeth. Don't want to call it a Flank Drive Plus, but look, it's got some teeth incorporated in it. I thought it was a pretty nice little concept at the time. Didn't really get a lot of use out of it outside of here at the house. Didn't find anyone interested in buying it for what it was that I wanted out of it. So we're going to keep it. We're going to keep on running with it. Just bought a new wrench, I just bought a new plier rack from Harbor Freight. I'm trying this out for the very first time. I'll show you guys later what my overall thoughts and opinions are, and I'll give it an overall review later on down the road, but not today. Harbor Freight wire stripper still working out really great. Got these Walmart scissors that work out really great. Craftsman oil filter wrench. I also got the Matco triangular style screwdriver set. I'm gonna do my best to get a set for SnapMac because he's a good friend of mine. He's done a lot for me for this channel. The wife absolutely loves the stubby style. Okay, these stubby styles is her favorite, and she absolutely loves these screwdrivers. She did not want me to get rid of them, so I figured I'll just buy another set for Tony a little bit later on down the road. But let me tell you, look, the difference between the Craftsman and the Matco is almost identical, a little bit night and day when it comes to the thickness of the handle and the length. Sometimes you don't want a super long stubby Phillips, you want something a little bit shorter where the Matco comes into play. So that's what we're kind of dealing with right now. She really likes the functionality and overall feel of the Matco, so I don't want to get rid of those because she really does enjoy them. Now I did pick up the Craftsman. I'm going to use those and have used those from a DIY standpoint. Not going to rate them just yet. Also picked up a precision screwdriver set that I'm half interested in to see how well that works up with our Cherokee RC car build. Want to know how well that holds up and how that works for us. A lot of good things coming up here pretty soon. Overall, toolbox, Cornwell Pro Series. Look, you know what? Knowing what I know now, knowing about the Icon that's getting ready to come out, I'm very excited about the Icon. I haven't made any decisions on it yet. Couldn't find anyone interested in buying my toolbox for what it was that I thought it was worth. So we may end up stuck with or keeping the Cornwell Pro Series toolbox, but that's okay. I still enjoy it. It's still a great work surface. I use it more than you'd ever believe. At least 80% of the time during the year, I'm using this toolbox one way or the other. Okay, last drawer coming up here, and I haven't put the Klein DVOM in it yet, but I have my Snap-on Soulless Edge. Was going to sell this too. Couldn't find anyone to pay me a reasonable amount for this tool, so I can buy something a little bit newer and more beneficial to what it was that I was looking for the automotive trade. Really wanted to try the, I think it was a Bosch 625 ADS. Phenomenal tool for European cars. Really wanted to try it out. Didn't get the money that I was hoping for out of this tool, so I guess we keep the Snap-on Soulless Edge for now. We wait till a later date. Maybe we try to resell it, but for now it's going to stay in the toolbox. And that's pretty much all that I have in my toolbox. But look, what is it that you actually need from a DIY standpoint or a weekend warrior standpoint? You need quarter inch, absolutely. You need an SAE and metric because you never know what you're going to run into. You need half inch, deep, shallow, metric SAE. You just need it. Ratchet wrenches are going to be the next thing that we're going to look into. Really waiting for maybe Harbor Freight to come out with a different design or a different platform to hopefully design. Some of the ones that I've already thrown them a little curveball at and want them to develop, we'll see what happens with that. Also, hammers, all this other stuff. Guys, it's a slow development. Nothing was ever built in one day. It takes years to progress. It takes years to build a tool series up. But we're creating a toolbox on a budget. So notice there wasn't a lot of anything that was really killer expensive in here. Yeah, we had the Matco screwdrivers. Yeah, we had the Snap-on scan tool, and yeah, I did have one Snap-on quarter-inch ratchet. The rest of it is completely budget tool friendly. I want to know just how much it would take and what it is that I'd be looking for that's going to hold up to the test of time, that doesn't cost me an arm and a leg, that I can use from a DIY standpoint, not just in the professional world, because I've got DIY tools that I use in the professional world. I've got cheap name brand stuff in the professional world. I want to know how I can build a budget master tool series toolbox. Okay, I want to know how I can build a toolbox full of tools that I believe that are absolutely necessary from a DIY standpoint on a budget, and that's what I'm trying to create. So if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. You didn't like the video, give it a thumbs down. No, this is not the last video on this topic. We will cover a complete and in-depth video topic explaining what all I feel is budget worthy, what all I feel you should have as a DIY standpoint, and we'll create the video together. This video will probably take me the betterment of about 12 months to actually do and show you what budget friendly tools will actually hold up in the DIY weekend warrior mechanic world. That's all I got for this video. Cheers to those of you that have your beers. I hope you're enjoying your work week. We'll see you guys next time. Doses.